Everyone, my name is Jesse Simpson. I'm the founder and CEO of Abundance Codes. Today, I'm joined by Jim Lupkin. He's one of our clients, but he has a really great track record of business success. He's a published author. He's a renowned social media marketing expert, and I wanted to give him an opportunity to share his journey after working with us at Abundance Codes. And yeah, you can hear for yourself from one of our clients. Jim, thanks for coming on.
No problem, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'd love for you to introduce yourself a bit and just tell us about your business and your background.
I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 29 years. It's going back to 1995. I got started in the affiliate world or direct sales industry world. I fell in love with this whole idea of building relationships on social media and then converting them into a customer or referral. So I got started way back then in the early forms of social media. Because of social media and having a great mentor, I rose to the top 1% of producers in that industry. Then I transitioned into the small business world, started a software company. I had about 35 employees, 1,200 customers in just 2 years with a sales team of 6 people, all building relationships on social media platforms, just like I did in the affiliate world. Then I came out to Scottsdale, Arizona, started an agency, had nearly 500 small business clients, again, doing the same exact thing I was doing previously, building relationships on social media and converting them to customers and referrals. About a year in of being here in Arizona, I met the creator of Six Sigma, and he taught me this idea that you can make everything predictive. And I'm like, well, that would be cool if I can make relationships predictive because no business really does predictability when it comes to relationships. So he taught me how to think Six Sigma. And long story short, I ended up taking my relationship based system, added Six Sigma into it. And then all of a sudden, I got a predictive result. For every 5 relationships, one was becoming a customer and referral every single time. So I went to Texas, tested it out with a company doing 12 million a year in revenue, grew them to 87 million a year in just 16 months. And then that kind of took me on this journey of writing a few best-selling books, doing business in 110 countries, 85 US cities, being on a board of publicly traded companies, and just a whole bunch of stuff. But it all was about building relationships. So here I am this year, 2024. I'm back in Arizona. And my whole goal now is to create a do-it-yourself platform for the small business community so they can all learn my system the way that I know it, so they can implement it in their business how they see fit and grow their business as big as they want. Doing workshops in the area, also starting to work with large Fortune 100 companies with the system, and then the last, which is probably what I get the most excited about, is teaming up with companies, doing equity partnerships with them and implementing my own resources, capital, team, etc., and growing them predictively without them needing to learn how to do it. So that's my background in a nutshell.
Let's go, Jim. I'm feeling hyped up just hearing that. Like if I remember correctly from our earlier conversations, you were like competing with MySpace back in the day. Was that right?
Yeah, we actually built our own social network to compete against MySpace and Facebook. This goes way back. I'm thinking it was 2006. I had about 20 developers on the job, I think. Yeah, it was about 20 maybe. 7 designers at the time, building a competing site. And so I learned the relationship side. I understand the advertising side. I also understand to a certain degree the tech side of social media.
Epic. Bro, I appreciate you sharing that. And you've had a lot of success. You've done a lot, business all over the world, published author, and now you're taking your wisdom, your expertise, and supporting other people through the equity partnership, which is even better. Now, as a successful business owner, successful author, I'm sure you've encountered various types of funding, or you've used various types of
Mhm.
funding to fund your ventures. How does the funding solution provided by Abundance Codes compare to other methods you've used or considered in the past?
I think I have a lot to say on this topic because in the small business world, you don't usually have access to VC funding, family offices, private equity. You usually have access to angel investors, and most businesses don't even have access to angel investors. They have access to family and friends. And so as you build a smaller business, you have a lot more limitations. And one of the things that I always felt was great for them would be lines of credit from banks and company credit cards. And that's what I think is really powerful within that space. And the other thought, though, is you have kind of like two sides of the coin. One side is you don't go out and try to get money when you need it, because usually there's something going on that prevents that from happening. So it's better to go out and get the money when you don't need it, because then that's when everyone wants to give you a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so when I met you and you were sharing with me what you were doing, I've never done company credit cards. And maybe it's because I always self-funded myself, or I always had angel investors. I was always around the private equity world, so it was just never top of mind. But deep down inside, I was always curious about it. And working now with the small business community with the do-it-yourself platform that we're about to go live with, I always saw a massive need in that space. And so when you're sharing with me what you do, at first my thought was there's a lot of businesses out there that need company credit cards because they don't have access to all the things I just said. But they probably really don't know what to do. And when I started talking to you about things and you started educating me on some of the behind the door scenes, and you're sharing all this different stuff with me, my thoughts were there is no way in the world the average small business owner is going to understand to do these things on their own unless they do a lot of research. And the average small business owner is not going to do a lot of research. Therefore, they're not going to get very many company credit cards. They're not going to get big limits. And but you actually did the work. And that was the first big thing that really hit me hard when you were educating me on this. And even though that sounded good, I was like, I got to see this in action. And so I'm in a position now where I don't need the money. And but in the back of my head as an entrepreneur, I'm like, but just get it, because you can always spend it on something. And two, if Jesse's telling me the truth, because I was skeptical, if Jesse's telling me the truth about this, if I dare say, holy, you know what, this is going to change the game of small business, where anyone that works with Jesse has a fighting chance of having good capital to grow a business. This could be really, really interesting. So I went down this road with you, Jesse, because I was more curious than ever. I thought you were going to get me maybe 50 grand or something like that. That was a number that was in my head. You far exceeded that. Everywhere I go, I talk about you. And I don't know if you want me to talk about now how much you end up getting, but it's not even done yet. You're still sending me apps for
Yeah.
more banks. So yeah, I would say that if you're a small business, company credit cards, 0% interest for 12 months, 6 months is by far the easiest way to go to funding your company, because all the other outlets are pretty much out of your reach. You're not going to get them. And this is the one that could happen the fastest.
Yep. Well, I 100% agree. So I appreciate the words coming from you, Jim. But yeah, would you
Yeah.
please do share your funding results so far with more on the way?
So I think it's only been 2 or 3 months. And again, I was looking for about 50K is what would have made me happy for me to go and refer this to him. But he far exceeded that. So far to date, 220,000, which mind blowing to me, because I'm thinking, like I'm sitting back here and I'm like, I don't need this money, but now all of a sudden I got it. Wow, maybe I'll spend it on something to grow the company. But then I'm starting to think about these other businesses. I'm like, oh my gosh, if all these small businesses got $220,000 with 0% interest for 12 months or even 6 months, talking about a game changer for their business. That's some serious capital for a small business. Even if they can't get that much, what if they got 100 grand, 75 grand, even 20 grand would change businesses. So, and you know what? I know we're not even done yet, because I know there's still a couple banks you just sent to me that you just put in the application. So who knows where I'm going to end up at? But I will say that every small business is all in the same boat. I was there. I know what it's like. Company credit cards is by far the easiest. You're going to be skeptical when you hear these things because it sounds too good to be true. But I'm telling you right now, I am one of your proofs. It's not too good to be true. In fact, anyone watching this video, reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn, send me a private message and just see if I'm real. And this is not an AI of me, and see if this is real. And yeah, Jesse's the real deal. And ongoing, it's not even the money that Jesse gets for you now. There's a long-term relationship with Jesse and you. That was one thing I also liked about you, Jesse, is this is long-term. I was like, hey, Jesse, if I want to ever want to raise $1 million one day, can you do it? And he's like, with our different resources, we can. And I'm like, oh, wow, this would be beautiful. Cause then with some of your things that you work on, I don't even need to give up equity for the bigger stuff. I can still get the money. So this is a long-term partnership for all of you. It's not a quick Jesse gets you some dollars and then he moves on. He's looking for a long-term partnership, which also shows that the service is real.
I appreciate that, Jim. Once again, thanks for sharing your wisdom and your experience. Now, I would love to. So, generally, in this point of the conversation, I would go a bit more into like where you were before and where you are after. But you already said that you're different in that you didn't really need the funding. You're just connected to so many entrepreneurs, and funding is the biggest block for a lot of times for people going to the next level. So you're just seeing what the capacity is here, what you could get at 220K with more coming. I think we'll get you over 250K, no guarantees, but obviously we're going to do our best to get you what you need. But I would love to just for you to share a bit more, and you've done a great job, so I appreciate that. Would you just share a bit more about like your experience? Because it's not just me. I want to highlight the team. We got Kayla on the back. We got Bradley. We got the whole team of Abundance Codes. Can you share about your experience working with the entire Abundance Codes team?
One of the things you said to me when we first got started was it's going to be a white glove experience. And you saying it and me experiencing it is two different things. Because a lot of times I sit back and say to myself, I'm not even sure what I did to get this money because you guys did so much work for me. I was so impressed about how fast your team responded to me on the littlest of things. It was like your team was on a mission to make me happy. And it would, no matter what, like, can you do this? Sure. Can you do this? Sure. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then someone on your team says, no, you're not. We're going to do it. You just sit back and enjoy yourself. I'm just like, what? I wasn't even allowed to put in the work. And so the level of white glove service was real. I think that's great for small businesses because small businesses are busy, like really busy. And so the idea of going through all of this to get company credit cards could be um, overwhelming. So I will tell you that Jesse's team does do white glove experience. They really do hold you by the hand. They do almost all of the work for you. In fact, the only time I've done work is when I had to verify that I was real to the bank. So all that meant was I had to get on the phone with the bank representative. They just wanted to make sure I was real. And it was 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I was done. And they're like, okay, thank you. That's all we need. And then 24 hours later, I get an email that says you were approved for X amount. And I was like, this is fantastic. All I have to do is verify that I'm a real human being. The white glove experience by far is extraordinary with your team. I cannot say enough. Bradley, Kayla, I mean, the whole team, unbelievable. That alone makes it priceless, absolutely priceless. So kind of like put it together in this. I like when for me, people making a buying decision is based on three P's. It's based on proof. You know, is it already working? Well, I'm the person telling you that it is. And then there's this promise. You know, what is the promise? And the promise is that you do this and you get the results. And um, Jesse just willing to take care of you every step of the way. Of course, he can't promise you X amount because it depends on some things on your side. But his promise is high in that they're going to fulfill their job. You just need to do your side. And then the third is the plan. The plan literally is sit back, we'll ask you some questions. When we need you, we'll let you know. And then just verify yourself. And then they're doing everything else. And the more I learn about company credit cards and all the little tweaks that need to happen in order to get the highest credit limits, I say it over and over and over again. Very few people know the answers to those questions, very few. So whatever you've been able to get in company credit cards, I would not be surprised if Jesse's company got you 3 times the amount. I would not be surprised because they know all the little different things that need to happen with each bank in order to maximize your limits.
Love it, Jim. Thanks a lot with that. Now, I wanted to go in. So just for those that are new to the idea of abundance codes. So we're a business funding company, but we do so much more than just that. Not only is our mission to really make it a white glove, done for you service across the board, so you as a visionary, the business owner, can build your vision, build your business, and you need capital to get there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this video. But the other things that people don't consider in the space, we're not the only ones that do this sort of business, but we're pretty much across the board the only one that does not only the business funding aspect, but the credit score optimization and a complete done for you business setup. So Jim already had his business set up, but I will say, and I'm not going to share it because we have some technical difficulties earlier, but we built him a custom website, a done for you website included within there, no extra costs on that. If he didn't have an LLC, we have the startup accelerator, so you don't have to start your own. We do it all for you. Along with that, we do the credit score optimization. So the basic for this is 720 or above. You need to have a decent credit score. If you're not there, we can help you get there. But Jim came in, excellent credit across the board. But our mission, as you get a hard inquiry pull on each time we apply, which will happen on your personal credit, we go through afterwards and remove those hard inquiries. So that's an internal team on both processes, business setup and the credit score optimization. So Jim, will you just share a bit more about the things we did for you with the white glove, the business setup, the website, credit score optimization, anything you want to share on the experience with either of those?
Yeah, something that happened yesterday that I was actually surprised about. So when I came in with you, my credit score was already like 800, something like that. And yesterday I was doing something and my TransUnion score was given to me 840. So I'm like, my credit score was already really high to get whatever I needed, but you took my score from 800 to 840, which was amazing in like what, 90 days, by doing all these little tweaks on my credit report that, one, I wouldn't have done because I was happy with 800, but I realized 840 is actually better. Two, I'm not sure if I even would have known them all because I don't, like, it's like this. I'm very good at what I do for 29 years, but I put in the time and the experience. When I meet somebody, I can tell if they're at the top of their game at what they do. It's very easy to tell. Unless you are focusing on it, you're never going to be the expert. So these little changes in my credit report, I never would have done because I never focused on it. But now I have Jesse and his team, they do focus on it and they're doing these little things. And my thought was, I wonder why they're doing that. That's not going to do nothing. Little simple stuff. And boom, my credit thing's going higher and higher. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Jesse knows the game. And to go to 840 was also mind blowing to me. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I was doing something yesterday with some of my business activities, and the guy saw my credit score, and he's like, "Holy moly, you got a great credit score. You get whatever the heck you want at 840." And I was like, "Thank you, Jesse." So, you knowing the little different things with on how to boost a credit score, amazing. The other is like what you were saying, people that have low credit scores, you're able to help them boost their credit score quickly. I know I sent you a referral, a friend of mine, and you helped boost his credit score, and it boosts by like 25 points pretty darn quick. And he was surprised because he wasn't sure how to do it. And he's like, "Yeah, I jumped 25 already." And I'm like, "Man, those guys are good." And so being able to boost the credit scores, fantastic. Helping people get set up if they're don't really have anything right now, you do it all for them. I guess it keeps going back to the white glove experience. Whatever they need in order to get a company credit card, no matter where they are along the journey, your team is going to jump in at that specific point and say, okay, this is where you are. We know how to get you to where you need to be to get it. Whether you have a 600 credit score and no company or an 800 credit score and a company, you know exactly how to take it to the next stage. And that's something that tells me that you're an expert. You walk the walk, you talk the talk, and you have passion, which maybe this is the last thing I'll say with this question, is when you shared with me your story on why you do this. That's like the biggest thing. People say, I am this. But when you have a reason why you do what you do, and then you have an action plan on how to bring it to life, that is what matters. It doesn't matter that you help people get company credit cards because there's a lot of companies out there that do it. And you can say, well, we have the best rates and we have the best this. That's true. And but in the end, it can kind of go back and forth. But to be able to know why you do what you do you truly fight for the small business owner because you're emotionally involved and those heartstrings of helping them. It's not just making money for you. That's the why without going in details on this, but from what you shared with me. And then how is how everyone else is already doing it. How they're going to help you get the credit score and stuff. It's that why. So if I would have met somebody else that was doing this because they were all about making money, you would be able to see it. And I most likely wouldn't have worked with them because they probably would have charged me higher rates because they're all about making money. They probably wouldn't have built a relationship with me. So they probably would have cut off a long time ago. But you actually care about people and you actually want to help small business people and lift them up and help them elevate and be better. That is like where you're coming from. And that's what makes me work with you because I know no matter what, you will take care of me. And I know no matter what, anyone I refer to you, you will take care of them, which means I build a better relationship with them.
So much for that feedback. It's great to hear. And just for anybody listening who doesn't know me, I'm driven by a greater purpose here, really fueled by my growing family. I have a daughter right now. She's 17 months old. And at the time of this, my son will be here in about a month. I really want to support my fellow entrepreneurs in creating stronger communities. And the way we do that is by building better economies. And the backbone of the better economy is a small business owner. So our mission here at Abundance Coast is to really fuel the small business owner's growth to build those stronger economies, which leads to a ripple effect and better families. I mean, we all know there's things going down in the world, and it's important for us to step up as leaders, as entrepreneurs, and create something different, solve the problems that need to be solved. So appreciate you, Jim, sharing that. You know, we can wrap up here soon, man. I really appreciate everything. This has been really, really good. Let's see. Yeah, I think just you've hit on so much right now. So yeah, let's just hit it with like is there any like closing words? If there's an entrepreneur sitting on the fence, I mean, at this point, if they still are, you might just have to knock them over. But if you were to knock them over with a kind word or two or a gesture, not a shoulder check like I just threw in there, but just anything that you want to say to someone sitting on the fence that has a dream in their heart, that wants to create a vehicle for their service and their impact, to make something real in this world, to help the community, their nation, whatever it is, help their family, what would you say to them?
When it comes to company credit cards, I would say this. When you get a 0% credit card, 0% interest rate for 12 months, that is what makes a difference here. Some people are saying, I don't want a credit card because of the interest rate. When you get 0% for 12 months, it's like having cash. You have an entire 12 months to pay it back. Therefore, that's a huge runway to grow your business. Don't be afraid of company credit cards under that. That is when you use them. Two, if you don't think you need them, like me, get them anyway, because you can always use the money to grow sales faster and bigger. If you really need the money, but you're nervous, reach out to Jesse anyway. Let him help you with where you are, because if you don't, it will only get worse. And in the end, you need to have a great product. You need to have great timing. You need to have a great team, and you need to know how to go to market. But you need money. And you can always use money to grow your business. No matter what you may think, you can always use the money. So I would do this. The opportunity might not be around forever. You just never know what goes on with everything. So take it now, get it now. And that's all I got to say. Anyone that doesn't even look into it, I might lose a friend over this, but I would challenge you that you don't understand entrepreneurship or business. That's it.
Thanks so much, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Please do check out Jim Lupkin on Facebook or LinkedIn. Get his book. Get into predictive social media. I'll see if I can link your stuff
Sure.
in how we're going to post this so people can check you out, Jim. Thanks again for being on this. And for those of you listening, if you have a dream in your heart that you want to make manifest in this reality, a business, a vehicle for your service and your impact, as Jim had said, strongly encourage you to have the capacity to expand your operations via business credit. It's 0% interest, requires no financial documentation. It's based off of your personal credit score, and our done for you services get you from wherever you are to where you need to be. And you'll wake up one day with $50,000 to $200,000 or more. In Jim's case, 0% interest business credit. Feel free to schedule a free credit strategy call if you haven't already. We're here to serve you and help your small business grow. If you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.